Hey, what's up? It's your girl Sequoia, Silicon Valley tech editor for Black Enterprise, and I am so excited today because we are live at Tech Connect, and we have a very special guest, Leandrew, who is the founder and CEO of Hinge 2. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so Hinge 2 is a technology company. We're 2 years old, and we take inventory risk out of retail. So essentially, either we have a made-to-order platform or a drop shipping platform. And we allow for any brand or retailer to be able to sell way more product without any inventory liability.
So we're talking about like a Zazzle, like what are we?
Similar to Zazzle meets a drop shipping platform. Meets just like your brand's kind of innovation lab. So an example is we work with Marshawn Lynch on his Beast Mode brand.
Wait a minute. So how do we get this relationship?
So me and Marshawn actually went to Cal together. Didn't really know each other. I'm a little older than him, a couple of years. But essentially, I used to run an e-commerce company in Boston, and I knew his creative director. So when I branched off, moved back to the Bay Area to start Hinge 2, me and his creative director, we conceived of a bomber jacket essentially, and we said, let's crowdfund it, and we used the Hinge 2 platform to do that.
Interesting.
So I was working with him before working with him. I was working with his brand before working with him.
And then he now knows about the platform. Has he exposed it to his audience?
Absolutely.
His demo?
So Marshawn, first off, is a dope and amazing businessman, entrepreneur. He is extremely just kind of forward thinking. So after we crowdfunded the bomber jacket, it did really well. It essentially sold hundreds in a couple of weeks, and then we reran it again.
So wait, you were at the prototyping stage of the company at this point, or were you already full-fledged to market?
No, we were like in Y Combinator at the time, very beginner stages, just testing with new clients. And this is when we were Kickstarter for fashion. That was kind of our thing back then.
You guys have a little pivot.
Sort of, still on the same thread of like no inventory risk and a way to help any brand bring a new product to market without investing their money into it. So essentially the bomber jacket led to like athletic sliders, and then it led to him. He essentially rode his bike to my office. I'm opening a store in Seattle.
Wait, Beast Mode on the bike?
Beast Mode has a big Beast Mode bike with big tires that's like this wide. It's ridiculous because he's ridiculous. And he says, I'm opening up a new store and I need new product, and I like y'all products. So that's where we kind of...
he has a store in Oakland.
He has a store in Oakland, Seattle, and online.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So essentially that's when we started to work with him even more and started to design new concepts for him, working with his team. He was very hands-on and involved. Just long meetings, ridiculous laugh sessions.
That's good. You want to work with people you like.
Exactly.
I like that.
So we just hit it off at that point, and Hinge 2 kind of went from just like designing a couple of designs to really designing most of his line, in line with his team. Essentially now we run his website. We have a made to order application on his site, continuing with like the no inventory risk thing.
But wait a minute, you skirted past something. You were in YC. Like, that's a huge deal.
So that was a blessing.
Yeah, tell me about that.
That was a blessing. Y Combinator. So when I moved out here in August 2015, around I think October, November, Michael Seibel, who's now the head of Y Combinator, the actual like accelerator program, he reached out because of our investor Mitch Kapoor and Ben Jealous, and said, hey, why don't you apply? So it's kind of like apply late. I was like, thank you.
You're like, I will do it.
I will do that. So me and my co-founders, I have two co-founders, Yao and Ismail, we applied. We had our interview like a couple of weeks later. We got in. At that point, we had a couple of good brands on the platform. We had a little revenue, and they just were kind of like, these guys are hungry. So the experience was dope. I mean, Y Combinator basically creates a market around you, right? And they put, so a market around you to essentially raise the capital you need is like an amazing benefit, and just a lot of pressure. Like they just essentially they grill you and kind of roast you every week on your growth.
That's awesome though. So with you being in YC, do you think that was a huge launching pad for getting off the ground?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, we have amazing investors in general, so we have like this dope kind of foundation of just like people who are always kind of spreading Hinge 2's word and helping us with different partnerships. Nice. But you know, being connected and being within the network of YC, it just put us in a place to get amazing advice and different privileges around like free technology and other investors and other kind of peers that are, you know, trying to build their own businesses, but may have a partner that we need to be partnered with. Right. So it was a great experience, and it was an awesome launching pad.
So how long were you in YC?
It's a 3-month program. Okay. Yeah, so it's like, it's in and out, super intense, driving to Mountain View. Was that
before or after Marshawn?
We started working with Beast Mode during YC. Okay. Yeah, so we were like in
so that was a huge get.
Yeah, that was like it was towards the end of it. So I think he was a part of our like demo day pitch. I'm
just gonna bring Marshawn Lynch.
Well, he didn't come, but his name came.
Okay, right. I like that though. So with that being said, how much did you actually raise in funding? And did you do convertible note? Was it actually a price
good
round?
question. So we raised 1.8 in total $million. Okay. We raised an initial seed, which was like 900,000 or 800,000, and that was K-Port Capital, Base Ventures, Charles Hudson. Those were like the original believers, right? When it literally was like Scrappy Leandrew and my co-founders with the ugly deck talking about we're gonna write the future of retail. We're taking out inventory risk. This is a big problem, and they just totally believed. So I'm about to start crying right now. Nice. No, I won't cry.
You're like, it's an emotion.
And then YC was in that round. So it was kind of like a 6-month kind of round. It was a convertible note. Okay. And then when we...
But they do safes now, right?
It was a safe note, but that's still technically a convertible note. Okay. Yeah, but it's... Yeah.
Explain that to the people who have no idea.
Yeah, so a safe note is this like investment instrument that makes it extremely simple, like not a lot of legal work and all of that, to essentially raise money. So what you're doing is you're essentially raising an amount, and you put a cap on top of it and a discount. You know, so you say, hey investor, give me $1 million. The most your valuation is going to be is, you know, 8 million. So if I raise for 20 million, their valuation is still 8 million. So that's their incentive to invest at such an early stage.
Right, because then they convert larger.
Yeah, when they convert at like the Series A or the next round, they get like a better deal than the folks who didn't believe so early. Right. So it's a great instrument for sure. Because then when we got out of Y Combinator, we did a priced essentially seed round. It still was a seed round, but it was priced, and that was a 1 million round. And that just takes longer. It's like a longer document, and that legal bill was popping. So
you're like, all that money we just raised, go ahead and pay the lawyer. Pay the lawyer.
It's like, okay, I get it now. I get it.
I love it. So with that being said, how are you now scaling the company? Because having Marshawn's name behind you, having Beast Mode, that obviously helped you pick up more customers. But now where are you at in terms of scale? Yeah,
so we have like 2 sides of the business. So there's like the branded side. That's Marshawn. We've done a brand for Marcus Peters, for Jaylen Brown, Spencer Ware, other athletes, other clothing brands. And that's where essentially it's an individual brand, and you can have made to order product, right? We'll help you design it, and we do everything else. You just sell it, we'll make it, we'll send it to the customer, we'll do the customer service. Don't worry about it. Super turnkey. The other side, and this is the real scale, is like our enterprise play. So we started building drop ship applications for really large retailers. So, you know, think of a major mall store. You know, retail's super tough, and less people are going to malls. They're closing down mall stores, and all their investors are saying, grow online.
Yep.
The main way to grow online is to have a lot more products.
Exactly.
So we answer that for them. So either they can invest $10 million and buy way more products, which is risky because
very much so.
I manage a team of buyers. You don't. You're guessing, right? You're using information, but ultimately you're guessing. I think that blue dress is gonna sell better than the black one, and you never know.
Right, but you don't have that data.
Yeah, so what Hinge 2 does is we say, here's a dropship system. We're the back end, we're the software layer. You can connect to $100 million of inventory, and we'll put all that product onto your website. When it sells, that brand who's dropshipping for you is gonna send it to the customer. So they're just making money, and then they're sharing the wealth kind of with the brand, right? It's like a consignment deal, but dropship. So that's
I like that.
So that's a bigger play because we get to work with like $100 million retailer, right? Who's doing $100 million online, and we may grow their sales 20%, and we get a piece of every transaction.
That's dope. So with that being said, people who are looking to get into this space, what is the advice that you would give them?
The advice is lean startup, right? So in the sense of test the market and try to just figure out what is the minimum viable product I could put out there. And that's the same thing on the retail side, right? Like we're test a new design, test a new concept, test a new brand, put it to the market before investing in all that inventory kind of deal. So I would say test your idea, test your concept. If you're launching a retail business, you definitely should look into dropship. Or you should call Hinge 2. We'll help you out.
Nice. All right, so I like to make these fun and interactive. Yeah. Be ready. So the game that I want to play with you today is 2 truths and a lie.
All right.
So you're going to tell me 2 truths and 1 lie, but you're not going to tell me which is which.
Okay.
All right? And since we're live at Tech Connect, try to implement something, a little thought behind that. And I'm going to guess.
All right, let's go.
All right, let's go.
All right, so my first business was a hot dog stand.
Oh my God.
I've only skydived 1 time.
That's interesting.
My favorite color is yellow.
Okay, you're an entrepreneur, so I'm not gonna say the hot dog stand is wrong.
Okay. Can't give you any clues. Poker face.
Yeah. Hello. Okay. Favorite color is yellow. It's possible. And what was the second one?
I've only skydove once.
You said only though, so that's what's throwing me. I'm gonna say your first business as a hot dog stand is the lie.
You are wrong. The skydive is totally a lie.
You said only
I know, that was the trickery. I'm a chess player.
I see you. Cool. So tell me about you skydiving. Have you never skydived?
No, I never.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then tell me about the hot dog stand.
So I probably was 10. My grandmother's church had a little fair, and they were like, we need vendors, food vendors. I was like, I'll do a hot dog stand.
Okay.
So it was chili dog. We went to Costco, got the nacho cheese, the chili, the hot dogs, the buns. And I thought I was caking. I brought my cousin. You needed an employee.
Okay, you hiring people?
I hired. Did you pay him? Yeah, so I'll tell you about the payment. It was all bad. So we're making all this money. I'm like, okay, whatever. Maybe we made $58. Who knows? 90? I don't know. Inflation. So at the end of it, I gave him like 20 or something.
That's a good payday. For you only made $90.
But then my parents hit me on the bill for the hot dogs. So this was my first lesson in supplies.
Entrepreneurship. Okay.
Done. Negative. You were negative. We lost money.
How much were you up?
No, I was down. It was like negative $20.
Upside down is what I meant.
Probably $20.
Okay.
I was sad about it.
Well, you gotta test the market.
I tested it, but I learned the concept. Like, but I was really, I remember feeling real deflated. Like, wait, so I did everything, but okay, there's cost of goods. Okay, I get it. Yeah, I didn't like that, but you know, I was a big saver as a kid, so I would like try to save my lunch money. I would have like a little stash.
Did you go from there to something different, or did you obviously you tried it again because you're an entrepreneur now? So what was the next iteration or the next pivot of that?
So I took a little time off, just save my money. I would clean people's houses and stuff. Yeah, I had to do my little.
Okay, so you went back to an employer.
Yeah, I went back to an employer, but no, the real first business was my senior year at UC Berkeley. I started a t-shirt company.
Okay, so you've been in this space.
Good old Ragamuffin Clothing.
Was that the name of it?
Yeah, Ragamuffin.
Oh no.
Yeah, Ragamuffin
was
the name. Yeah, it was like real, just like, you know, it's Berkeley. I'm from the Bay, so kind of like, you know, political black messaging.
Okay.
But it was like out of my Toyota, the trunk, barbershop, beauty shops, different festivals.
Wait, what'd you sell? Just t-shirts?
Yeah, t-shirts for the most part.
Okay, so nothing else.
No, but we had a big Obama shirt.
But let me ask, were you printing them? Were they customized?
No, so we would have a design. So let's say we had this one, probably the best one. No, I'll do like the controversial one. So like we had like, no, I won't do that one. I'll do the Obama shirt. It was like a silhouette of Obama, and it had Langston Hughes. I think it's called I Too Sing America, and it's an amazing poem, and it's essentially like, you know, why don't you like me, the darker brother? You asked me to come through the kitchen, but soon you'll see how beautiful I am, and you'll invite me to the table, kind of deal.
And that's all on a t-shirt?
Yeah, the poem was on the t-shirt, like in his silhouette.
But
mainly people are seeing his face, but it blew up. Yeah, we had some
virality,
good press around it, but anyway, yeah, so that was like my hustle play, and that's how I got into this industry.
Nice. And so you took that knowledge.
Yeah.
What were some of the things that you learned from that situation?
So still inventory risk, right? So like what would end up always happening is I would essentially launch, you know, maybe 6 designs, and there would be 2 that would crush it, sell out immediately, but I couldn't re-up because all of my money was in the inventory of the other ones.
Makes sense.
So I'm like, I want. So anyway, so that was a key lesson. A thing I always tell folks who want to start a business is like, just go. Just go print 40 shirts and go to a barbershop. Like I didn't have a store. I didn't have a retail account, right? So I would literally go to where people who is the market for this, right? So we're black folks basically. So I would go to different places. I would go to a jazz festival. I would go to the barbershop and things like that. So that was just like, go, like put your idea out there, because you never know who you're gonna meet.
Right.
And I have contacts now who I met super random and like hustle hungry mode, trying to sell them a t-shirt. Right. And now so
those relationships transpired.
Yeah, super.
That's dope. So all of that being said, you took that business and you turned it into Hinge 2 basically.
Ragamuffin, then a company called Karmaloop in Boston.
Oh, yeah.
You know Karmaloop?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Please.
So I started a business as...
Karmaloop was huge.
It was huge.
They had all the fly stuff.
130 million huge.
Oh my gosh.
So in 2009, the wife did a master's at Harvard, so we moved to New England. I met the CEO there, Greg Selko, shout out. And I essentially pitched him to be an entrepreneur in residence. Right? I'm like, look, I'm an entrepreneur, give me an opportunity. So that led to me starting a business called Plunder. And Plunder legit took off. So we did 4 million in the first year, then 16, then 26, then 38 million.
Wow.
Right. So
wait, what was Plunder?
So Plunder was like the discounted kind of guilt group, but essentially for Karmaloop. So for that market, still like young men, apparel, streetwear is basically the name we called it, but it's half off, and the sale is only lasting a couple of days.
Nice. You guys had a good hook.
Yeah, so Plunder was where I really cut my teeth. I built a team. And this is gonna get like, how come inventory risk? That's where I saw a lot of the brands that I admire die, because I would be their last call.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going out of business. Can you buy this discounted inventory for me for 10 cents on the dollar?
Right.
And I'm like, wait, what happened? I just saw you 2 months ago. You said you didn't have any overstock.
Right.
Like, what's going on?
Right.
And I just started to investigate on kind of like the cycle. But that was like the play. And then I became general manager of overall Karmaloop. And started to unlock like a drop shipping program. And then I did like this print to order program. So that's where I really developed like the concepts and really tested the market.
Okay.
So there's advice in that. You can be employed and still an entrepreneur.
Right.
You know, and
you were, I mean, that was something that to me is the most interesting, because that was a massive platform to learn from.
Absolutely.
Because they were doing so well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could learn a lot with other folks' money and data. So
I love it. Well, I'm glad we didn't skirt over that, because that was
I'm glad we got there.
Super
it was formative. It was formative.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Leandrew. I am super excited for all you have going on with Hinge 2, and we look forward to seeing what you have going on in the future. I'm your host, Sequoia, with BE The Code, and we are live at Tech Connect.
Thanks.